MMA professor here to do MMA 101 number 2. You haven't noticed, I'm going to start doing MMA 101, which is basically just topics that I want to talk about, some opinion stuff. I want you guys to, give me your thoughts on it, your opinions, maybe upload some response videos to it, and just some news and notes and stuff like that. So that's going to be I'm not going to, put a stamp on it and say I'm going to do it weekly or daily or whatever. I'm just going to do it whenever I feel like doing it, essentially. And just so happens I'm compelled to do one today. And the first thing is, if you haven't gone to spiketv.com to look up, they have the first 8 minutes of the new upcoming The Ultimate Fighter season, and I shouldn't have watched it this early because I was already pumped about MMA, having some new MMA and having a heavyweight season and all the rumors surrounding how awesome this season was. And man, I am so pumped up at I've always contended that how Elite XC handled Kimbo Slice was absolutely horrendous. He shouldn't have been making the money he was. He got put in a star status when he shouldn't have been that early in his career. But all of those things, not Kimbo's fault. He just took the fights he was offered, took the money, signed the contracts. He's just trying to get paid, like he said. And I have a lot more respect for him coming into this season. And from the looks of it, as soon as he walked in the room, because they brought in 15 guys first, and then Dana White comes out and says, we're going to bring in the 16th, and Kimbo walks in, and everybody's talking shit about him right away, and saying there's a bounty on his head, and everybody. This season is going to be so freaking awesome. Rampage and Rashad talking constantly, just back and forth. Man, I don't know how they didn't. I mean, the whole time, it's seemingly the whole 8-minute preview that they were just talking shit about each other. It's freaking amazing. Good at the build up for this. The fighters that are in it, man, I'm so pumped up about this. The second thing, I'm gonna put a link up in the sidebar on a article that was done on Yahoo Sports. The way the article was written was sensationalist, kinda, and I'm not a fan of a lot of sports journalism nowadays, anyways. But the article is not the main point of this entire thing. Comparing what this is to how he contrasts, it's just god awful. I don't know how people get jobs, especially with big sites like Yahoo Sports, and write crap articles. But anyways, let me read it off. Ultimate Reno Combat Showdown is from 3/21/09, so it was a long time ago, and I don't know. And they just posted it September 5th, so I don't know. Apparently the footage just leaked or whatever. But there's a fight. I don't know if it's amateur or pro, and what happens is, if you watch it's got a video of the fight. Basically, they come out to touch gloves, and what one fighter does, and his name is Chris Sheridan, is when the guy puts out his glove to touch, he fakes like he's going to go out and touch it, slaps his hand down, and throws an overhand right and knocks the guy out. And, while it is, I will say, it's not legal, it's not illegal. It was a legal shot because of the protect yourself at all time rules, but it is completely disgraceful. It's classless, and even though it's not illegal, I think, it takes away from the sport, and it takes away from the sportsmanship, and I believe he should have some sort of suspension for it. And, it got me to thinking that, there should be a rule on glove touching, because glove touching to me, when they say, well, they bring them to the center of the ring and they say, if you want to touch gloves now, do it, and you touch. To me, that's okay, touch gloves. And then when you go out, if you're standing across the cage for somebody and put up your hand like, we gonna touch? Okay? And if they say yes, and you go out and touch and you're class about it, it's a different situation. It's more like when you touch, when the referee comes in the beginning, it's like, all right, you have a good fight. And then when the bell rings, it's in the first round, okay, we're going to do this. This is a contest now. Well, let's get it. Let's do this. And it's a completely different situation. I'm not a huge fan of the, oh, you caught me with a good shot, let's touch gloves. And I don't know, Manny Gambirian did this once and tried to throw a head kick, or from what I remember, or something like this. It seems to happen, not a lot, but a decent amount. And I think there should be a rule as far as touching gloves goes. Like, touch gloves, like you have to touch gloves at the beginning if you want to. After that, no touching gloves. No touching gloves, because, you're going to get people here that clearly map out, like, okay, well, I'm going to fake touch gloves with him, and then I'm going to hit him with a huge right hand. And it's obviously he predetermined it, and it's completely classless. There's no, it's like, they should, like in the NFL, where excessive celebration, that's a penalty right there. And I think that's how it should be. But what do you guys think? Should there be a rule on touching gloves? What do you think about, glove touching in pretty much every aspect of it? I think the way it's going, they need to touch gloves at the beginning of the fight, and then that's it. Like, when they come together in the center of the ring, touch gloves, that's it. So those are two topics I wanted to cover real quick. My UFC Fight Night 19 predictions, which is going to take place before, the season of The Ultimate Fighter 10 kicks off. So you guys, stay metal. Later.